Alright, this is lesson 4, how to replace the color of an object. So all the instructions are on Canvas, so if you prefer to read them, you can go ahead and read them. I will be covering a few additional things on the video, so it'd be beneficial to watch that. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and bring over Pixlr. We are going to be using this photo again. We used that a similar photo earlier. And so you're going to go ahead and just right-click on that image, and you're going to go ahead and download the image. I'm going to go ahead and bring this on over here, and I'm going to click Open Image from Computer. I'm going to go ahead and grab that Camaro. Alright, so I have the Camaro here, and what I want to do is I actually want to change the color of the car here. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to go up to Edit. I'm going to go ahead and do Select All, and it's going to highlight the whole image here. It is a little big here, so I can always make it a little bit smaller by just choosing that right there. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that when I'm changing the color of this vehicle that some things don't change color. So I don't want these lights to change color. I don't want the emblem to change color, this little symbol here to change color, or these lights. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on the lasso button. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold the control button down, the CTRL button. And I'm going to go ahead and lasso some things that I do not want to change color. So I'm going to lasso this. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and lasso these lights. And I'm going to go ahead and lasso this thing right here. I want to show you something real quick that you can do when you're doing some really fine work. You may need to zoom in a little bit. So again, I can just zoom in using this button again like I showed you before. And then right up in here is where I can move stuff around. And now I can actually see this a little bit better here. And again, I'm holding the control button down and I want to lasso this last little section here. And again, using a mouse makes life a lot easier for you. If you don't have a mouse, if you're using your trackpad, it could be a little bit difficult. And I finally have that lassoed. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out here. And what I want to do is I want to change the color of the car. And I can choose whatever color that I want. A couple things, especially when we're using stuff later. This tool right here, if I hold my mouse over it, it says Color Replacement Tool. And then I can go down here and choose whatever color I want to color my car. Let's do a hot pink. Move it up here. So you can select around on the color wheel here. And then you can actually choose, how much black or white you want in it. So I'm going to go all the way to that brightness. And if you notice, it changed the color down here. And now I'm going to bring my brush out here. Now if you notice, my brush is very tiny and it may take a while to actually paint with that. I can actually go up here and change my brushes. You have multiple brushes. You have brushes. I call this a hard edge brush because it's a very hard edge. This is a soft edge brush, and we'll be working with those a little bit later. I'm going to go about 50 here. And then I'm going to say, come back out here, click out, and now I can go ahead and start changing the color of my car. Now, the cool thing about the way the color thing works is that it will not change anything that is just black and white. And so I can actually easily go over here. I'm holding the mouse down. If you notice, nothing is changing. And I'm actually going to come up here, and so I'll go ahead and paint this whole thing here. Just like painting by numbers. So it looks like it changed a little bit of color there. And I'm painting. Now if I want to, I can actually change the color mid-painting here. And so I'm going to click this there, and now I can actually, if I want to, add some different color to my car. And if you notice, as I'm going over that emblem, nothing is picking up on that emblem. And I'm going to go ahead and continue coloring and until I have my whole car color. I do notice why this picked up some pink here. If you notice inside the headlight, there is some yellow in there, and so it's picking that up. So next time you may want to lasso that out. And we'll go ahead and color until the whole thing is colored, and then we will be happy with what we did there. Okay, so that's one of the things that you're going to be doing today. Okay, is changing the color of a car. Okay, the next thing we're going to do here, so you're going to go ahead and submit it. Be creative with your paint job. I mean, obviously this is kind of messy looking, so you'd want to actually do a little bit better job than what I did here. What we're going to do next is you are actually going to change the color of the clothes of a person in class. And so I went down and grabbed an image. Actually, I went around the whole school, and the only teacher that had colorful clothes on was Mrs. Ayler. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that image here. So the first thing I did here is I took a picture of her standing against a wall. And again, this is going to help with when you're doing your color stuff. And I want to actually crop it first. And so we've worked with cropping. So I just need just a shirt. And I'll hit enter on the keyboard. And now what I want to do is the exact same process. I'm going to go up to edit. I'm going to go up to select all, and then I want to go ahead and start coloring the things that I want colored. Now, this is where you're going to have to spend a little bit of time here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we'll start right down with the lower part of the shirt. And let's say we're going to change the shirt green. Let's do a bright green. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my color tool, which is right here. Now, if you notice, I have a huge, when I zoomed in, my brush gets a lot bigger, and you may want to drop your brush down. Again, it's really important to probably use a hard edge brush on here, and I'll show you why momentarily. So I'm going to go ahead and start coloring, and as I'm coloring, I actually want to get as close to that shirt as possible. And if you notice, the blue pants aren't picking up anything. So I can go ahead and start coloring her shirt there. But I want to show you what happens if I get too crazy, and so I go over her fingers. If you notice, her fingers change color because there is color in her fingers. So I'm going to go up to Edit, Undo, and then continue to work. Now, when I get around the fingers, one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a very small brush. So I'll grab this 5 brush, and that way I can actually get inside her shirt area where her fingers are at. And so I want to make this look as seamless as possible. And again, that's the goal of Photoshop, is to make it look seamless, like nothing's happened. Oops. Okay, and again, you can always zoom in. If you're still having problems, you can zoom in really close, and then we can bring that down here. And so like right there, so I'm going to use a smaller brush, and so I can even go and color individual pixels that if I want there. Okay. So again, this takes time to do. You can't rush something like this. And then I can go ahead and zoom back out. Okay. So with that, you're submitting 2 things to me today. One is going to be the car, the paint job on the car, and the second one is you're going to be taking a picture of someone's clothing, and you're going to change one article of clothing. Now again, if you submit something to me that looks like this, and you just went through and painted the whole thing, that's not quite what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to actually change the color of the one object. So the faces and the hands and all that type of stuff should not be a different color. Alright, good luck and take your time. You're trying to make it look as seamless as possible.